Hi kids, welcome back to my channel. Dude Neil is most humbled by you joining me to hear what I have to say. As the title implies, this rumination is about the political situation we find ourselves in going into the year 2026. Venezuela has just been attacked by hoax King Donnie and his band of scary folks. So I thought I would break my silence and do a new video concerning this. Please like and subscribe if the mood hits. Comment if you like. But I do ask that you share this, because going viral may be the only way I survive what I'm about to suggest. Don't worry, it's peaceful. It's always peaceful. I am a priest, for God's sake. A dudist priest. We can't abide with violence. So any solution I have to anything is going to involve peaceful method. At least I hope it's a peaceful method. Once things get started, it's hard to say what direction they'll go in. States of America and the entire region of America's nations have just been handed a golden opportunity for peaceful and political reset, but we haven't realized it yet. I'm about to make that, put that into the ether at the top of Tava. So that golden opportunity for a reset, sadly, takes us only to 2008. But that'll have to do. Here's my thought. We currently have a situation, in which kidnapping a nation's leaders can apparently be done. Unless something happens in the next few days to tell King Donnie he can't. Further, Mexico and Canada have been threatened with a Russian-style invasion for control of their lands. In some languages, that's called terrorism. Now, Putin is aghast at our attack in Venezuela because he could now be taken away by Ukraine and his government seized. Xi is aghast because he, too, could be captured by Taiwanese forces, or Hong Kong, or Vietnam's for that matter. They put up a pretty good fight, I'm told. So they would be on the side of the United Nations, Interpol, if Interpol launched an intervention. And that's what we need. This can't be done internally because our Constitution doesn't allow for the interruption of a president's term. It's not like Britain or any other nation on earth. Israel, we can't just have another election, sadly. Although I'm not quite sure why. The rest of our Constitution doesn't seem to matter a whole lot. You know, like due process and things like that. Citizenship. So if those can go by the by, then why can't a new election? But that being said, which would also be peaceful, incidentally, Interpol would have to be involved because Mexico and Canada are UN members and in our hemisphere. Therefore, they would need to perform the arrest. They are under a terrorist threat, after all, and that's a condition of invasion, apparently. This would go more peacefully if millions of Americans also got involved and surrounded our White House and Pentagon. We own those buildings, you recall, and have the right to sack them. They would prevent such people surrounding these buildings would prevent the military, which works for we the people, at least that's what I was told in the Air Force, from responding by ground. Now, they could still respond by air, but I'm not sure how much good that could do. And it's highly likely the chiefs of staff would not launch an air defense, possibly any defense. So King Donnie, Pistol Pete, VPJD, their ugly wives, and possibly little Marco, who has the ugliest wife of all time, from what I understand, could all be captured. In fact, so many vehicles and people and planes headed for D.C. would probably be enough to get the military's attention. The chiefs of staff would have time to draw up a response, like, do we even care? After all, he thinks we're suckers and losers, so maybe he's not worth saving. In fact, so many vehicles heading for D.C. would probably be enough to get that attention. I repeat, the criminal oligarchs would be handed over to Interpol after being arrested and tried in The Hague. Now, if they chose to fight being arrested, which is highly unlikely, certainly by King Donnie because, taco. So they would probably be spirited off and taken to The Hague. Of course, our banks and Wall Street would crash, but 2008 taught us how to stop the financial nuclear reaction without losing Treasury money. That's not because of George Bush Jr., who's Secretary of the Treasury, the prior CEO of Goldman Sachs, that wanted to get rid of Lehman Brothers as a strategic business goal, just handed out money willy-nilly. President Obama put that money on a leash as soon as he got into office, which thankfully was very soon after the global crash. So an interim government would be installed here. Putin would naturally have to immediately withdraw his troops from Ukraine and all lands taken by force in order to save himself from a similar fate. After all, you can't really complain about Venezuela while you're sitting in Ukraine. The United Nations, having been given teeth, could then enforce global contracts with their time, like the Paris Global Accords, and we might just stop this extinction-level event. How's the weather look to you? My car says it's around 61 degrees. And this is January 4th in Colorado Springs. Do you see any snow? We've had one snowstorm. So this is my humble solution to a mad world. I think mad describes this world perfectly well. And it's time for it to stop dithering around. We don't have to put up with this shit. It just takes some determination and will. Let's all head to Washington, D.C. and surround some buildings. I'm with you. Peace and wellness.